Oh, hi audience, what's up? It's Greg Sestero here to introduce you to the True Blue RiffCast, where they talk about amazing movies, bad movies, and everything in between. So you're listening to the True Blue RiffCast. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Greg. This is the True Blue RiffCast, the #1 RiffTrax podcast in the world. And apparently I'm getting follows right now because my Respect Knuckles thing is going off. Thanks for the follows, guys, here on Twitch. But I am Jeremy, and I'm joined, as always, by...
Hi. Hi, it's me, Dave, and happy autumn, Jeremy. How is your autumn doing so far this autumn of 2021?
It started quite well, actually. Sorry, my thing keeps going. The alert that I got a new follower keeps going off. So like every few seconds. Yeah, every few. It's not like a new. It's not a new person though. It just keeps going off, and I can't figure out why it keeps going off.
Oh dear.
So every few seconds now we're getting Respect Knuckles from C-Lab 2021, and there it goes again, and I can't figure out...
What kind of weird stuff do you have on your channel?
Well, that's from, I'm just going to remove the alert box. There we go.
Nah.
I didn't know how that was turned on for that. It should have been in this little scene thing that I have set up for this. But anyway, yeah, autumn's starting out pretty well for me. How about yourself, Dave?
Oh, it's great. I'm out here. Again, I decided to do the podcast remotely from nature, because that's a thing that I do. From nature. Walking. Nature walking podcasting is what I call it. And it's just, I just want to take advantage of, it's almost completely pitch black, but I don't care, because I want to enjoy all this not winter before the not winter goes away.
Yeah.
And we can't be outside anymore.
Yeah, you probably have it slightly worse than we get it every year, because you're out there in Utah.
Yes, that's correct. Out here, yes, the state named after Johnny Utah from Point Break. That's
there
right. Yeah, but they're like that's the stupidest name for a Keanu Reeves character. We're gonna name our state after it. I'm sure that's what Brigham Young said when they applied for statehood.
Oh yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah, man, I'm just out here enjoying the nature, drinking a cold one.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm wearing a hoodie because I thought it would be hoodie weather, but apparently it's going to be like 70 degrees until around about the time we usually wrap up. So I'm probably going to be sweating my balls off.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, dang it, I said balls. I forgot.
Uh-oh. Womp womp.
Oh, no. Welcome back from the edit, everybody.
Yeah, except we can't do that anymore, Dave.
We
Come on
can't
now.
do that anymore. It's a great in-joke for all the peoples who listened before, who knows what that means.
Yeah, so the ancients of the ancients.
The ancients of the ancients. We've only been doing this podcast for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Today we do have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We have the newest release from RiffTrax, Mirror Mirror. We have Gammera the Invincible. And our short review of RiffTrax Shorts today is going to be for Chimp the Fireman. All kinds of crazy goodies today.
Nice.
And, one of our things that we like to do here from time to time is we like to check in on the director of Birdemic Shock and Terror, James Wen.
James Wen's tweets. Yes. And this one this one is not as entertaining as some of his tweets in the past, but it's still kind of, it's kind of a good look into what he thinks is going on.
Yeah, this is
a picture.
like
what he thinks is going to happen.
and it's the cast and crew of Birdemic 3, okay?
And
it's
it
the
has
cast
4
and
people
crew.
in it.
It's literally 4 people. There's James in the background with, standing there like a creepy uncle. He's got his, tan polo shirt on. And then we've got the new Rod up front. He was the Brontosaurus guy
I
from
think
the
his
video.
name's Evan.
Evan. And then
the character's name Evan or Ethan.
I don't remember. And then we have Julia Colbert, who's going to be playing Kim in the movie. And they're both drinking mimosas, those two. And then there's this other, schlubby guy on the side. And, I don't really know how else to describe it. He's wearing it's a button-up shirt, like a button-up long-sleeve shirt. And it's, gray and darker gray and, blue striped horizontal, which is always, not what you want. And it also has a hoodie, it's like a hood and the tassels, and they're in the West Cliff room of what kind of looks like a lounge. I hesitate to say bar, because there's a bunch of weird couches. I don't really get that. And there's a disco ball. So and it looks like right behind it one of those laser light reflective ball things, like the type of things people put pointing at the side of their house on Christmas when they're too lazy to put lights up, like myself. But that's the latest update from James Wen.
So it sounds like they might be at a poetry slam.
I don't know, man. They're drinking mimosa. It's just it's an awkward picture. It's really just an awkward picture. So, you guys, he's at MovieHeadPic on Twitter. If you type in MovieHeadPics with an S, you get his old Twitter account that he obviously forgot the login to, so he had to create a new Twitter account.
Because he's an idiot. He's a big, fat idiot, James Wen.
I don't know. He looks pretty skinny in this picture.
Quote me on that. Put that in big quotes in your magazines. James Wen is a big fat idiot. Dave Chadwick, 2021. And underneath it in parentheticals, yes, he's still mad.
As well, you should be. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we do have an episode that talks about the James Wen incident, and you'll understand. You'll understand.
I'll be mad about it till the day I die.
Oh, jeez. Oh, hey, Dave. I hear somebody tripped you up a little bit. They sent you a message about the podcast and confused the heck out of you.
I believe that was you who did that.
That was me.
It was you. I wasn't going to bring it up, but you brought it up.
I didn't send you anything about Beef Quest.
Oh, no, I thought you meant the message.
No. I'm not going to bring that one up.
You sent me.
The voice to text failed. No.
Yeah, the voice to text.
Sir.
Okay. Well, let's tell both stories now.
Fine. All right.
So
I'll give you the abridged version of mine real quick, since this is where Dave thought we were going. We were talking a little bit before we started recording, and I told him that I needed to remember to use something for the podcast, and I said podcast, but my voice to text was feeling a little spicy, I think, and it dropped an F-bomb. It said F-bomb.
I will have
ass.
to remember to use this for the F blank A blank.
Yeah, it was, and I didn't notice it.
I was just like, I didn't know what to think. That was just like, and I just sent him a little wow emoji. I have to remember this for the FA.
And I'm like, why did he send that? Yeah, it's because I need to learn to read my texts before I send them.
And I was just like, And I don't know how the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know how it
Your
turned
voice
into that,
to text. Your voice to text has a dirty, dirty mind. If it thought podcast was FA.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I see. I'm sorry. I just brought up my Stream Manager real quick, And I see why the thing was going off like crazy, because somebody was spam bot following me. So I was getting, it was follow.
Is it like Haas 1114 or something?
It's gun, and then like D8 or Q6 or J9.
Yeah. You got some Haas bots.
Yeah, thanks. These are gun bots, though, I think. But yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. No, I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was a great thing for Jeremy to interrupt the story about how he sent me a wildly inappropriate message on Facebook.
Yes.
But the story I believe he wanted me to tell was my good friend Edgy Berserker.
Check her out on Twitch.
Yeah, check her out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Edgy Berserker. She's a great, wonderful, one of my best friends. And I mean that. I love her to death. And she sent me a message. She said, "Hey, I'm catching up on Beef Quest." I'm like, Beef Quest? Like, what the hell are you talking about, Beef Quest? Why are you talking to me like that? I was just like, I thought maybe, and she was like, your podcast. And I was like, oh, because a couple episodes ago, Jeremy named the podcast Beef Quest. And, you know, I forget things about the podcast, like Jeremy will say. But I was like, hey, we should talk about this riff. It's like, oh, we already talked about that. I was like, we did? I don't remember that at all. So I forget a lot of things about the podcast. But Jeremy doesn't, because he's the one that actually produces the podcast. So he knows.
Yeah.
I don't. So,
but if you are watching right now on Twitch, I dropped a link to Edgy's Twitch channel, so go over there and give her a follow.
That, and she does a great show.
Yeah, she plays a lot of fighting games, and she does cool art.
Yeah, she does RPGs too. Yes.
So let's just move right along here, and let's take a look at. I don't have a good segue for this.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Like segue.
Yeah, but let's take a look at the weekend box office as one of the things that I enjoy doing. And you know, movies are kind of a thing again, and we have just kind of. We have, of course, still in first place, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Because what else are you gonna see?
Not Dear Evan Hansen. That movie is in second. And it apparently was a big disappointment as far as the box office for the weekend. They expected it to do better, and it did not.
Okay.
Number 3 is Free Guy. Number 4, Candyman. And number 5, Cry Macho, which was, I think that's that
this Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah. It dropped down from 3 down to 5, which I guess isn't really a big surprise, but yeah. Shang-Chi still dominating.
I like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really read anything about it, so I don't know. I don't know like what the word is, if it's good or bad or what. I just haven't cared about it.
Speaking of the movies, and this is RiffTrax related. Before we get started talking about
actual RiffTrax,
the actual RiffTrax. Did you see the big announcement for the Super Mario Bros. Movie?
I did, and I'm glad you brought this up because
they're colossally out of touch voice casting.
You know, it's weird, but
like, okay.
I think it's gonna be fun if nothing else.
Yeah. Okay. Chris Pratt. Okay, I get it. Okay.
The worst one is the first one, just because I can't hear his voice in my head and make it match with Mario. Like Chris Pratt, Mario, that's so bizarre. I just can't piece that together at all.
Well, actually, I think he's the least egregious one.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's the least egregious one. I know the internet hates Chris Pratt for whatever reason because
of faked tweet screenshots.
Yeah. I think the most egregious, like the chick from what's that? I read the book and I can't even think of what the name of the Queen's Gambit girl.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, fine, cool, whatever. I can dig it. She's a girl. Princess Peach is a girl. I mean, what else? What other
she was good as
do you really need?
She was good as Emma in the movie Emma.
To play Princess Peach. I mean,
I can't really talk
Peach
about.
Peach is not that hard of a role to nail.
No, I can't really talk about how she was in the New Mutants because I haven't watched it and I don't.
No,
really
I don't
care
think.
to.
Well, join the club. But the guy who plays Toad, I've never even heard of him. But I was just like
Keegan-Michael Key. Keegan-Michael Key. He was Key and Peele. Did you ever see any of the Key and Peele stuff?
No, I've seen one Key and Peele sketch where it's about. I think it's about Family Matters.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but yeah, he's good. He does good.
Okay, but like as Toad, it's like it might be okay. The one that the two that really bother me a lot are Jack Black as Bowser and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
What, you don't want?
Just
want a high Donkey Kong?
Just stop with that. Okay, get that. Just take Jack Black as Bowser and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and just get it the hell out of my face. Okay, like, come on now. I mean,
I'm very interested in Charlie Day as Luigi, though. And I think it's funny that they cast Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong.
I'm not really sure now. Okay, I'm not up to date on my 30-year-old Donkey Kong lore. But I believe I read somewhere one time that Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong. And that Donkey Kong is like his grandson, who just took up the mantle of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I think they established that with Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country.
From the SNES.
From the SNES, the SNES, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's so retro. One of my nieces a few years ago, I think in like 2017, came over to visit. She came into my game room, and she saw that I had a PS2, and she said, "A PS2? Wow, that's so retro." And I was like, "Get out! Stop it!
Get out right now! Leave!"
And she's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's an interesting group of choices for the Mario animated movie, to say the least. I mean, it's Illumination, so obviously it's going to be a bunch of celebrity voices, but I was just cackling when they were announcing these people.
A bunch of talented voice actors, or the dude who's played Mario.
Okay, well, I get
1996 to do it.
I get the thing with Charles Martinet, just because I don't know, he's not a young feller, and it might be a little taxing to do an entire film in that voice. How could he
possibly be?
I don't know. Well, let's check, shall we?
You have Google up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the phone. In the middle of
on the
park.
phone. Yes, Charles Martinet is 66 years old. So maybe he could still handle it. I mean, I can't imagine that being
still making movies, okay? And that dude's like 100.
Yeah, this is true. I don't know. It'll be weird. He is getting some surprise cameos, they said. So we'll see.
Maybe he's Cranky Mario or something. I don't know.
Cranky Mario? That'd be Wario, wouldn't
it? Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, enough about Mario. Let's
enough. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to take control of the podcast? No.
Let's move along and let's get to our short reviews of RiffTrax shorts.
Yes.
For today's short review of RiffTrax shorts, we are taking a look at Chimp the Fireman, which was released just very recently, September 22nd. It came out just a couple days before the other movie we're going to talk about today.
I was about to say, that sounds really recent.
But this is a short about Shorty the chimp who lives next door to a firehouse. And because of this fact, he's been wanting to be a firefighter for, his whole life. He longs to throw himself into the big blaze and to charge headfirst into danger, according to the short. Like, that's not just me embellishing. That's what they say in the short. This monkey really wants to run toward the fire. I'm sorry, this ape. Oh. So he runs across the parking lot and into the fire station. It's just like, yeah, I'm doing this. And, it's just a chimp running crazy through a fire station. They make him clean the fire engine, which he doesn't like. Then he starts smacking all the firemen in the head. He jumps on the truck. He moves on to the inspections, as they say. He starts going crazy, ringing the bell. He jumps in the driver's seat. He's, trying to turn the wheel and all that stuff. And then there's a firefighter with a gas mask on his face. And Shorty goes up and just starts wailing on him, just starts punching him directly in the eye, the eye lens part of the gas mask.
No,
it's
violence.
Great. Yeah, monkey violence. And then, they hug. He's like, oh, yeah, I like you now. And then they spray him with a hose, which is cool. Spraying a chimpanzee with a hose. I'm sure he loved that. Then he goes in to talk to the fire chief, but the fire chief's not there. But he left his cigar smoking in the ashtray. So,
oh, no.
So what does the chimp do? Starts puffing on it. Just starts puffing away. Doesn't like it, though, so he puts it out. So at least, there's a positive message there, I guess.
Oh, geez. And I just published a book that heavily features a monkey that chain smokes. I feel great.
Yeah.
I feel great about my life choices.
But yours is a fictitious monkey. It's not an actual living chimpanzee
this is true.
Puffed on a lit cigar.
And there's a difference between chimps and monkeys, apparently.
Yes. Hey, well, if it doesn't have a tail, it's not a monkey.
It's some other kind of primate that's not nearly as cool.
Yes. They give him a little uniform. He's got a little fireman helmet made out of hat. And then he proceeds to, breakdance on a ping pong table. And he does this thing where he, sets his chin down and is, walking around with his back feet and, just rubbing his face around on the ping pong table. It's really weird. And then he climbed up the fire pole and he's, taunting the firemen below him because they can't, climb it to get him. And they're, swinging at him. I think it was probably the trainer. And he was really swinging at this chimp to get him down, but the chimp was kicking him and not getting down. And then of course an alarm goes off, so they have to rush off to the fire, and it's a house fire, but it's a house not actually on fire. They superimpose smoke over the roof, and he's trying to show the little girl how to jump off of the roof and into the netting because she climbs out the window on the second story. And he climbs up the ladder repeatedly. Climbs up the ladder to get the girl to jump off the roof. And then he has to go back in to rescue her dolly, and he uses, the phone line into the house to monkey his way in and back out. And that's the end. They hug, and then short's over. This is one of those things that's chimpsploitation at its finest. It's a really funny short, though. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. The part where he's running around on the ping pong table, smearing his face. They talk about.
It sounded like you're going to say something else. Smearing his.
No, they didn't have. There was
face.
Smearing his face. Yes, it's a good one.
Not feces.
It's a good one. I don't know necessarily that it's a must-have, but it's 99 cents.
It's 99 cents.
If you got $1 to throw at it, come on, yeah. That's it. That's all I got for Chimp the Fireman.
Nice.
So,
is he really a fireman though, or is he a fire chimp?
He's a fire chimp. Shorty the Fire Chimp would have been a better name.
Yes, that's right. So let's go back and smack Coronet or whoever did this around.
It was like Castle Films or something. I don't know. It was
probably.
It was one that's not normally what we get with these.
I was about to say they've run out of Coronet, but what am I saying?
Yeah, come on. We just had a Coronet with the last RiffTrax Live Hobgoblins. They did what was that? Life in a Medieval Village or whatever.
Yeah,
like the Seneschal.
Yeah, the most boring short they could have picked. Anyway, we've talked about that. Though. Go back and listen to.
It was our first live show that we did.
Yeah, it was our first. Yeah,
our first live show.
Our first live show, right? This is like our fourth.
Yeah, this is like fourth or fifth. I don't know. It's kind of nice being back on a weekly basis with this.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I have to be on my best behavior.
Yeah, Dave.
Which is very hard.
Oh man. So let's move on. Let's talk about Gammera the Invincible, the RiffTrax redo. Gammera the Invincible. Yes. This was released June 1st, 2018. I don't
like where we're at a point where stuff that was released in 2018 is now considered to be like gilded classics. It's like my life.
The first thing I want to say about this one is, quite honestly, this is one of my all-time favorite RiffTrax posters that they've made.
Yeah, Jason did a really good
poster
job on this one.
Is awesome. Yes, Jason Martin, you did an amazing job with this poster. It's one of my all-time favorites that you've created. But Gammera, we know Gammera. Yeah. We know Gammera. I mean, this was one that they did back in the other show days. That was the Sandy Frank Gammera. He's made of meat, and he's really neat.
I gotta say it. I don't really watch a ton of Joel era MST3K. I know I'm gonna get hate mail for that, but I just don't. I mean, I know a lot of people do, and have at you. I just think Mike's more my style, which is why I'm really kind of all for RiffTrax redoing certain things from the MST3K era. And this is one of the things like, hey, cool. I mean, I know a lot of people get real pissy about it.
Yeah.
But
and we actually had this discussion with Mary Jo Peele about this, about them redoing movies that were done under the Mystery Science Theater banner, and then them redoing them under RiffTrax. And the general consensus between the three of us was that it takes absolutely nothing away from the original riff. It's a completely new perspective on things, and so why not do it?
Yeah, and guys, really, okay. These movies, they're basically just like just like a joke machine. Like it's just like
yeah.
It's basically like a joke transference machine. Like these movies are. So if you can make new jokes, it's a totally different animal.
Yes.
Which is why I think they should do Star Crash. But anyway, that's a whole nother bag of
that's another conversation for another time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That we'll probably never actually touch on.
But anyway, Gammera. I love the intro to this because this is the American version.
Yeah. The intro to this is super rapid fire.
Is super, but the thing is that it starts off with a very Batman style theme song, Gammera, yes. And Bill immediately comments on it, and Batman,
yes,
Gammera, and also Batman. So like that kind of like defines the riff for me, is Bill just saying, and also Gammera, and also Batman. Yes. I really do like it. Like as it says, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a fun time.
And it is.
What pops out to me about the movie in particular is that it really does look like it could have been directed by Ed Wood. just with I like that sounds like a joke, but it's not. Like with the cheapo sets and all the super horniness that's happening with all the Air Force people there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Japanese version originally, they cut the budget. The studio cut the budget because they had low confidence that the film would do good. So, because of that, this first movie in the franchise is the only one that's shot in black and white. Mm-hmm. Because they couldn't pay for the color stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, 66 color was all the rage. It's not like this is like there's like in the 40s or the 50s when color was still experimental and super expensive. No. You know.
Yeah, so and then, the English stuff that they shoved into the movie, those sets are super cheap. Mm-hmm. Like you can tell that, it was just kind of it's not good, guys.
No, not good at all.
But then, this did spawn a lot of movies, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I have to look because I don't even know how many movies there are now.
Do we really even need to talk about the plot? It's basically like kaiju goes and, like...
Yeah, it was woken up by, the atomic blast or whatever.
And everybody spends a lot of time saying giant turtle, and then a kid saves the day.
Yeah,
so
they've made 12 Gammera movies.
They have?
Yes.
I thought Gammera went to Mars.
Well, Gammera came back.
How did he come back from Mars, Jeremy?
I don't know. The same way that Godzilla keeps coming back every movie. I don't know.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen any of the other Gammera movies.
Neither have I.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am not interested.
Oh, okay. Here we go. It's set 6 months after the first movie. A meteorite collides with the Z-Plan rocket, which frees Gammera, who returns to Earth. So there you go.
Seems like he should have died.
You would think. I don't know. But the other little interesting tidbit about this, the other version that they did for Mystery Science Theater had the regular title, and it was spelled Gamera. This version obviously has an extra M in it, and I read it. Where is it? It's the dumbest reason why they changed the name. They changed Gammera's name in order to prevent audiences from calling the monster Camera.
What?
Yeah. They were afraid that they would call the monster Camera instead of Gammera.
Do they think camera begins with a G?
I don't know. I mean, that's what it says. The American version added an extra M to Gammera's name in order to prevent audiences from calling the monster Camera. Like I said, it's a really dumb reason to change.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was it published in a guide to English language Gammera in a book in 2020. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be at least as interesting as why Spider-Man has a hyphen. I know there's an interesting reason for that. I've read about it before, but I'm not really sure. Did you hear the news about Spider-Man, though?
What's about Spider-Man? Oh, how Disney wants Marvel to keep the full rights to the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they're probably that would probably be a good thing for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to split any of the revenue from them with, the people who probably should own them.
Well, dude, okay, look, Marvel, I mean, not to get too far out there because we were talking about Gammera, but Marvel's going to keep that copyright. There's no
Yeah,
way.
they're going to win. They're going to win it. I think, and again, that's a discussion that we're not going to have here because
Yep.
there's
Because-
way too much.
Anyway, Gammera.
Yeah, Gammera. Woo. The other thing of note, and I'm sure you've noticed this. You may have noticed this anyway. They kind of turned Gammera into a friend of all children.
Yeah, I have no
And
idea where
he's-
that comes from.
I don't either. It's just because it went over well with kids over in Japan.
Yeah.
And like kids were sending letters to the studio talking about how much they liked Gammera. And so they're like, "Oh, yeah, we'll just make him a friend of children."
In pro
let's see.
wrestling, we call that a face turn.
Yes, he became a children's ally in the end because of the great response that they got. So, yeah, he went from a heel to a face.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm speaking completely out of school here because I've never seen a Terminator movie. But Terminator became good in like number 2, right?
The only good ones, according to most people, are the first 2.
Okay. But like in the second one, it was what's this actor's name? Agent Doggett. That's how I know him from the X-Files. Robert Patrick.
Yeah, Robert Patrick. Yeah.
Yes, that's how I primarily know Robert Patrick is from the X-Files. That's not a joke. I really do. He's Agent Doggett. He's great. He's great in the X-Files.
I usually enjoy watching him in most things that he's in.
He was in RiffTrax recently, wasn't he? He was in Double Dragon. That's right.
Yes, he was the bad guy in Double Dragon.
He was in Double Dragon.
Poor Robert. He had to be in Double Dragon. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
We're getting off track. Gammera
Yes.
is good. It's a good riff. Even if you're a diehard fan of the original MST version, you really should give the RiffTrax version a shot. And in fact, it is available streaming on the RiffTrax Friends app.
Ooh. So you don't have to pay very much to see it, you cheapskates.
Yeah, you can just watch it for like $6?
Yeah, something. Yeah, $6. You can watch a bunch of other stuff that me and Jeremy all had to pay for the first time around.
It's not an ad. We're just letting you know. We're just being informative. Yes, we're just being informative. We're not sponsored or anything like that. We don't make any money off any of this stuff. But yeah, that's if you want to check it out, I suggest you do. It's a really good time.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Jeremy, would you watch this movie on Rift?
Gammera, yeah. I do actually want to watch the other ones. I think they're all up on Amazon Prime Video to watch. And I kind of want to check them out just to see it. I enjoy the Godzilla movies. I enjoy all of them. The good, the bad, whatever. They're just dumb fun to me anyway. So this would probably be very similar to that.
I got to be honest. I probably wouldn't because Gammera never interested me.
Yeah.
So
Giant
I mean,
flamethrower.
I'll watch the RiffTrax because it's RiffTrax. Hell yeah. But I mean, like the Gammera kid, like the continuing adventures of Gammera.
Some of
years
the
old, man.
Some of the monsters that Gammera goes against, I've seen like pictures of, stills of, and they have very good creature design.
Yeah, but I mean,
So that's what interests me. I want to see that. I want to see the ones with the wings. I want to see how bad they look when they're in motion. Those always crack me up.
It's like I can only stomach so much Japanese stop motion when I could be watching Attack of the Super Monsters.
Yeah. That does definitely sound like a much better use of your time.
It is.
Oh man, now we get to move on.
Oh gee. Okay.
And We're going to be talking about
this week's release.
Mirror. And
Jeremy and I think we have, because we were talking about it before the show.
Yeah.
We both watched it today, so it's fresh in our minds.
Yep.
I think Jeremy and I have wildly different opinions about this movie. Not about the Riff. The Riff is fantastic. The Riff is great, but the movie itself, Jeremy and I have wildly different opinions about.
Yeah, honestly, the Riff. We'll talk about it a little bit after we discuss the movie. We don't like giving away too many of the jokes, but this Riff is very high up on the list of releases for this year for me. Just joke wise,
on the Riffometer.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's way up there, but the movie itself, as Dave said, we do have some differing opinions on it. It stars Rainbow Harvest, a.k.a. not Winona Ryder. She was in Earth Angel, so we've already seen her.
She was?
Yeah, she was the modern time girl that the ghost was hanging out with. Rainbow Harvest is her name.
Rainbow Harvest.
Yeah.
Wow,
she was in Earth Angel. So it's kind of interesting that we got that.
8 months ago.
So we got another movie with her in it in 2021, which is kind of weird. But
is she becoming the new Cynthia Rothrock?
Maybe, I don't know. She kind of stopped acting in the later 90s. But this movie is about an evil mirror that is like demonically possessed, and they mentioned this in the official thing for it, that it's a strong contender for the lamest monster of all, and there's another strong contender, the evil floor lamp from the upcoming Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes live show, in just a couple weeks here. It's coming up quick.
What day is it?
It is October 26th. So
we're a month away.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
That's like a month away today.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's the 26th today. I didn't even realize that. I mean, I'm sure I did at some point, but I had kind of forgotten. Anyway, I'm like too excited to talk about this movie because this was a weird one. This was a really weird one. Okay, so this movie starts off in the 50s with these two twins. And one stabs the other one to death in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
There's your establishing your opening scene right there. And then cut to current times to this film, which is the 90s. I think it's actually 1990 was when it came out.
1990, which is one of the big problems I have with this.
Yeah, because you know what? I was still a couple years out from high school at this point, but so we have Lydia Dietz, not Lydia Dietz, even though that's who she is. She's Lydia Dietz. She moves into this house with her mom. They came from L.A., and she's all gothed up, just like Lydia Dietz.
Better not bring any of that L.A. kung fu here.
Yeah, they do bring up a few things from Beetlejuice. In this, where they're like, oh yeah, she goes upstairs and finds the model of the town where Beetlejuice lives, right? And they're like, no, that's the other movie.
Yeah.
But she has this mirror in her room, and she goes to school. She's the new kid in school, and she's from LA, and she's all different. So let's all make fun of her.
Okay, see, now this is where the movie completely loses me. Is this high school? Because it's like immediately the attention is called to the running for class president.
Yeah,
and the popular girl is running, and her name is I've already
Charlene.
Forgotten. Yeah, Charlene. Anyway, and they go out. Everyone goes out of their way to point out that Charlene's defining characteristic are her big boobs.
Yeah, and they use that as a way to kind
to
of
like.
not to, I can't say to make fun of her, but she's the rich snobby bully.
Is she?
And yeah, she's the bully of the movie. But she's like kind of like this snobby. I mean, for being in Iowa.
Yeah.
But she's
Is that where they are?
Yes, they're somewhere in Iowa.
Okay.
But yeah, she's supposed to be the wealthy. I'll say wealthy instead of rich. That might be slightly more accurate because if it's a smaller town, you just have that one family who's got the money and they're like.
But you're like,
we're in
my
charge.
dad makes $100,000 a year. That means he's rich.
Yeah, that probably is the case for this. And her main opponent is Nikki, who is the only one to be nice to Megan, the goth girl from L.A., which they point that out a lot that she's from L.A. But okay, the mom has 2 dogs. One of the dogs, when they're first moving into the house, is peeing on like a drop cloth for the painters or whatever. And like the dog literally just lifts its leg. Nothing comes out, but they play the sound effect for peeing.
Like peeing sound effect in the first 10 minutes.
Which that cracked me up. And then a little bit later, the dog goes into Megan's room and pees on the mirror and then is found, quote, dead. Because they didn't bother using, like, a fake dog for the dead dog on that she places on the countertop.
Yeah.
And so they go up and the dog's got, like, a blanket, like, halfway over it. And, I got to give this dog credit. It did pretty good at not moving.
But
for the most
the dog's
part.
clearly still alive.
The dog is clearly still alive because you can see like the back feet twitching, like when a dog lay there as they do, their feet just kind of, twitch a little bit. And you can see like one of the eyes open, like when they do kind of like a closer shot to the head. It's not it's not great.
It's not
I mean, they could have used at least use a stuffed dog. No, the dog did good. It was a good dog.
He's a good dog. He's a good dog. He's a good puppo. He's a good pupper doggo.
But yeah, so the dog's dead. And that night, when Megan goes to sleep, when she goes to sleep, she has a dream about. She gets woken up by a apparition of her dead dad, who's I think I'm trying to remember how he's credited in the movie because it's. Just like daddy or father or something like that. It's something really weird. And he's, his face is all like half gone. Chunks of it are missing. And it's a decent effect. It's okay. It's, it works for what it is because it's mostly in the dark anyway. But she starts screaming and her mom comes in. It's like, oh, what's going on? And nothing actually is seen by the mom because everything's gone by that point. But she's yelling at the mirror like, stop it, stop showing me this or whatever. And the next day, she's in the lunchroom at school after an inexplicable slow motion walk with her and Nikki and Nikki's boyfriend through the cafeteria to find a place to sit. It's like Zack Snyder took over this part because it's just this big, long, slow motion thing for no reason other than to pad out the length of the film, I guess, because the slow motion doesn't serve any
make
purpose.
It 90 minutes, Jeremy.
Yeah. And, the other kids, the popular kids, are over there, and they're talking, and they're laughing, and throwing glances her way, and it shows the mirror in the house, and it starts dripping blood.
Yeah, so, okay. This mirror has powers that are far-reaching. And
it's a magic mirror.
Yes, but okay. I just the mirror's far-reaching powers to be able to control things in the school, like the whole thing in the locker room.
Yeah,
and
which we do need to mention. Well,
we got to talk about that. Yeah, But like, it basically becomes like anybody who picks on what's her name, Megan.
Yeah.
The demon in the mirror kills or severely injures.
Yeah. Or in this instance, gives Charlene a crazy nosebleed.
Yeah.
Like blood is literally shooting out of her nose.
Yeah, like I. This is one of my big problems with the movie as a movie. Number one, it's 90s high school. I don't want to say triggering, but I can't think of a better word for it.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, because I went to high school in the 90s, and it's like, oh God, that was us, and this is embarrassing. But the other part of it is that like what this mirror is. I mean, I know an explanation is sort of given about it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how the powers of the mirror could be that far-reaching, that it could reach to the school. Like, I can understand maybe it being able to kill things in the house.
Yeah.
But like, I think logically, the mirror's abilities would probably be limited to people who actually looked at the damn mirror.
Yeah, that's what you would expect.
Yeah, but no, it can just like it's omnipresent. It's kind of like wherever, or maybe somehow it attached itself to Megan, and I don't know. It just it just seems real sloppy, and its powers are very ill-defined.
Yeah,
why why it's killing everybody who doesn't like Megan. Why it chose Megan just because Megan looked at it once.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not explained. The mirror causes her teacher, played by Ned Ryerson. Bing.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's right. I'm glad you brought that up because I would have totally forgotten that. No, I said, that looks like Ned. That is Ned Ryerson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ned Ryerson?
This is the only other movie I've seen that actor.
But he has like a severe asthma attack. Megan apparently can start controlling the powers of the mirror at some point because she uses it to get Charlene's boyfriend to come to her, and then he like stops. She wants to do it with him, and he stops. He stops it.
Yeah, she does. Well, good for him.
Yeah, and then he gets murdered by
him.
the demon in the mirror. It like reaches out and like squeezes his head a little bit, shakes him around, and he's covered in blood and dead.
Now that I'm cool with as far as like the mirror murder goes, because it's right there.
It's actually the mirror, the demon in the mirror doing it.
Yeah, the demon in the mirror. Yeah, there's a demon in the mirror. But no, no, there's an actual connection. They're actually in the room where the mirror is.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like...
Charlene wins the student council president election thing, and Nikki...
Obviously.
Nikki loses, and so Megan uses her powers to...
The mirror's powers.
To steam Charlene to death in the shower in the girls'
Should we talk about that?
Locker room.
Should we talk about the nudity that's in the locker room?
It's creepy because it's supposed to be okay.
It should be.
It should be creepy because it's supposed to be
a teenager,
a high school, senior or whatever, and obviously
it's a woman in her 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Let's see, how old was she actually? Now I'm getting into danger. She was born in. Hang on a second.
The actress.
Okay, she was born in 1968.
She was born in 1968. So she was 22.
Yeah, so she was definitely an adult at the time, but it's still, it's this is supposed to be a high school person, and it's
okay.
not...
Okay, look,
It's
here's the
uncomfortable.
thing.
It's very uncomfortable.
Since Shrunken Heads, I give nudity like that a wide berth because they're not showing an actual teenager's breasts.
Yeah, I don't think anything will top that.
Yeah. The thing is, like, there was a time in my life, and this is going to be another talk. This is going to be another thing where Dave talks about how freaking old he is. There was a time in my life when, like, nudity would, like, I don't want to say excite because that sounds gross. Where, like,
it would have the intended effect.
Yes, yeah. Where I'll be like, "Ooh, hey, look at that!" Like, and I would just like become. I would pay attention to it. But now I'm just like, oh, gosh, shut up, just shut up. I don't care about this anymore.
It's old hat at this point.
Yeah,
it's like, do we really need that? Come on.
It's like, come on. It's it's like, but I mean, it's so anyway. Megan uses her powers to. Okay, so does she die?
Charlene?
Yeah, did Charlene die?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Because
it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah,
I mean, she was still moving.
On Wikipedia. Okay, look, after that ending, not to jump ahead or anything, but after that ending, I went to Wikipedia and I was amazed that this movie had a Wikipedia page. I was like, oh, good. Like,
it actually has a very in-depth Wikipedia page.
Yeah. So, but the Wikipedia page kind of leaves in question whether what's her name, whether Charlene
it says she was scalded
was
to
dead
death
or not.
It says scalded.
Oh, it did.
To death.
Oh, just scalded. Oh, I just saw scalded. So okay,
yeah.
My bad. I'll take the hit on that one here on the True Blue Riffcast.
But yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell in the movie, like just from the movie itself.
Oh, that reminds me. Like I know we don't talk a ton about riffs. I do feel bad about that sometimes, about how we talk more about the movies than we talk about the actual riffs. But that's for RiffTrax to do. That's how they make their money. But there was a scene. There was like where I think it's Megan says to Nikki. Be like, congratulations, Miss President. And then I think it's Bill who says, Carly Fiorina pays somebody to say that to her every day. And I was like, Carly Fiorina, is she still a thing?
Well, and then there's the one joke that I skipped over. Back when Megan uses the mirror's powers to lure Jeff to her. There's a line in the movie, something about, do you like me? I bet you like me, or I like you, or something like that. And Kevin makes a joke that that's what Mr. Rogers would say in that situation. And then he does an impression of Mr. Rogers. Do you like me? Because I like you. And the other two guys are just like, no, you can't. That's sacrilege. You need to stop that. Oh my gosh, there's so many good, like, just high level riffs in this one. There's so many.
Anyway, okay. So ultimately, the mirror just starts killing everybody.
Yeah, like it kills the mom.
Kills the mom, and
cutting
I don't
her hand
know why.
up in a garbage disposal. I don't know.
That was weird.
And it's not. Yeah, that's not a good effect in this movie, especially when she pulls her hand out. It's very not good. Pretty much everybody that you've met as a character in the movie is dead at this point, except for Megan and Nikki.
Yeah, there's like this kind of weird final confrontation in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So we might
normally
as well, okay.
I wouldn't do this because this is kind of like a big twist here. This was kind of a big twist ending. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't want the ending of this book, because I kind of was surprised. I know you were surprised,
on
Dave.
This podcast, or do we do spoiler alerts?
I'm going to for this. Just this once. And I know we've kind of done it like when we talk about like Mandalorian and whatever, but that's a different type of thing. But I don't want to really ruin this for people who have never seen this before. and want to go in
and just wants
not
to be
knowing the ending.
So if you want to be properly confused,
yes.
If if you want to be properly just like what, huh? Like,
just stop listening right now.
Yeah, yes. Stop listening to the lie. Yeah, just
because we're gonna attempt to figure this out.
Go watch Amaranth or somebody for the next few minutes. They're like, look at, they're like Twitch cleavage.
Just go watch the RiffTrax Twitch channel. Okay, just switch over to that or whatever, or stop listening if you're just listening to this as the podcast form. Just stop listening.
Or
bye. We'll see you next week.
How about just keep listening because we're gonna save you a lot of pain.
Because okay, I watched this right after Dave did, and I was telling giving updates where I was in the movie,
and I was like, keep watching.
He was like, this ending, and I was not prepared.
Me immediately to Wikipedia to find out what the hell happened.
I was not prepared for this. So when Megan finds her mom dead, she turns against the mirror, and Nikki is also, trying to stop the mirror, and they both go in to try and shatter the mirror. This big windstorm goes through the house. They can't get out. Megan decides to sacrifice herself to the mirror to end it, stop it from killing people. And Nikki's the only one left. She's standing there, and she starts yelling at the mirror that she wants everything back to the way it was. And,
sorry, lady, that's not how life works.
Yeah, so it kind of zooms in on her face while she's screaming or whatever. And it, stuff kind of changes. You can tell it changes in the background. She opens her eyes, and this is kind of a remake. It's a repeat of the scene from the beginning of the movie where it was the two twins, where the one twin killed the other. But instead it's Nikki, and she had stabbed Megan to death on the bed.
Which doesn't make any sense.
And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, so, okay, Wikipedia says that it is an apparent time loop. And I'm like, shut up.
It was different people than, like I said, it was the twins in the first scene, and now it's Megan and Nikki.
You don't get to do this to us, Mirror Mirror, okay?
So I don't know how it's a time loop. I get, okay, it sent them back in time or whatever, and it's gonna maybe go back through it again and change the targets or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, so is she gonna be the class president and
well,
in
the demon
1955, and Marty McFly is gonna come and try to do things and. And Doctor Who, and what other time travel? Thanos is gonna come, and
Bill and Ted.
Yeah. So just all the time travel things.
Yeah. So it's very weird. It's a twist that
it makes no
I don't
sense.
see how you could watch this movie and see that coming.
Well, no,
but
that's why
Dave said, it's very.
You can't see it coming.
Yeah,
because
it's so crazy.
It doesn't. Is it a time loop? So she gets sent. So she got sent back in time to the 50s. So now she's just lost in time.
Yeah.
What did she do to deserve that? It's
she was nice to the new kid in school. So if there's anything to take away from this movie, don't be nice to the new kid at school. Because you'll end up in the 50s.
If Twilight taught us anything, it's that everyone loves the new girl for no reason. So,
yeah. So you would think that's the end, right?
It's not.
It's the end of the movie. It's the end of that movie.
Yeah.
But then we have Mirror Mirror 2, which came out in 1994.
What? This thing has a sequel?
This thing has more than one sequel.
Shut up. It doesn't either.
The first sequel was actually the first movie that Mark Ruffalo was in. It was his feature film debut.
Wait. Wait, this thing was in theaters?
No, this was released direct to video.
Oh, okay.
And I love this. There's a couple lines in here. Let's see. Joe Bob Briggs this is what he wrote about the sequel. 9 dead bodies, multiple blindings, 1 raven attack, mirror licking, a table saw to the back, gratuitous demon that goes by so fast you can blink and miss it. So it sounds really interesting. Like the first one. Sounds a lot like the first one. And then we've got the next sequel, Mirror Mirror 3, The Voyeur.
What?
Yeah, it started going that way.
No.
It was billed as an erotic horror film. And the main character is Billy
Erotic?
Drago. Yeah. The guy from The Pale Rider and The Untouchables and The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. He's the main
Wait,
character
so
in this.
erotic, so it's like porno?
Well, okay, this is great. I love this. TV Guide's critical response to the film. They gave it 1 out of 4 stars, okay? The only surprise to be had in Mirror Mirror 3 is that it took 2 credited directors to pilot this melange of listless acting, perfunctory horror elements, lengthy but ineffective sex scenes, and amateurish action set pieces. Lengthy but ineffective. Mark Ruffalo was also in this movie, but he played a different character.
So it's like feeders too.
Yes. Yeah, basically. And then in the year 2000, they released Mirror Mirror 4 Reflections.
What is this, like Retro Puppet Master? What is this?
And this is about 5 people who are caught in the mirror's power. Caught in the mirror's power to reveal lost souls, broken dreams, second chances, and some very strange sexual vengeance.
Wait, this movie had 3 sequels. It could not possibly have made that much money to warrant 3 sequels.
The second, third, and fourth one were all direct-to-video movies. I don't understand how they kept it going. It's very unusual.
It's kind of like, I don't know. I think I would rather watch, there's a horror series that I really love. Pumpkinhead. Yeah, where the first one is excellent and the rest of them are garbage.
Well, I'm sure that's the case with this, but the first one's not even excellent, so...
Yes, I love Pumpkinhead, and everyone in the chat, if there's anybody in the chat, go ahead and mock me, but I love the first Pumpkinhead.
I like the first Pumpkinhead. It's a good movie.
It's scary as hell, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. It's like a genuinely scary movie. Like most scary movies don't really scare me because it's like,
This guy
whatever.
kills you in your dreams. Psh, whatever. He'll turn your soul into a pizza topping. Who cares?
Well, okay, look. Here's the thing. If we're gonna talk about that, like Freddy Krueger became pretty cartoony by the end.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, just I think horror movies that don't become like big, huge multimedia franchises.
Uh-huh.
I think those are the real scary ones. Like the very first ones are okay, but as they go on, it's just this is just kind of stupid now.
Well, yeah, because it's like the first sequel is almost a direct rehash of the first movie, generally speaking. The third sequel is where they try and go in a different direction with it, and
then
usually
everything after that,
and then they go to space.
Yeah,
and that's when it really just loses everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, Friday the 13th, the first movie is not. I can't watch the first one. Isn't that the one? Isn't that the one with Kevin Bacon in it?
Yeah, and that's the one where it's where it's spoiler alert. It's not Jason. Jason's not the
yeah,
killer.
it's
his mommy.
It's his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I find that movie insufferably boring.
I honestly, I haven't watched the first Friday the 13th, and I can't tell you how long. Weirdly enough, my favorite one is the 8th one where Jason Takes Manhattan, but that's just because that's like the first one of those that I ever saw, and so it kind of stuck with me, like that. But
yeah,
we're getting way off base of Mirror here.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Well, we started talking about good horror movies.
Yeah, we said that's the problem. You start talking about good movies, and it just kind of, trails off into more good
movies. It's like,
movies.
why aren't we watching those?
It's because we have problems, Dave.
Yeah. It's because we're RiffTrax fans. But anyway, Jeremy.
Yes, Dave.
Would you watch Mirror Mirror on Rift?
Yes, I do think that I would. At least once.
I think I'm going to say yes with a caveat.
Ooh.
The caveat is that back in the 90s, back when I was a young lad, first approaching manhood, material with certain female roles in it, very hard to come by. But I imagine that this movie would have been played at like somewhere between 2 and 5 in the morning. Probably. On channels that like we didn't get, or that we supposedly didn't get. But if you like went and like onto your cable box and like did the right combination of like pushing 2 buttons down and adjusting the deal a little bit, you could turn the sound down so that your parents couldn't hear. So
I've never done that, Dave. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but just so you could see, like your first, see what
your first
non-National
Geographic.
Yeah, certain things kind of look.
This is what we had to do back in the day, folks.
Yeah, like all you
the
kids
internet
now. So, but yes, I would watch it on Rift, probably like in that, because it seems like it would kind of be that, like I would like sacrifice a whole night's sleep just to get a glance of.
I mean, then that's
something like that.
Really all it is it's kind of a glance. You don't really get like a good shot, thankfully, but.
And you really would sacrifice a whole night's sleep just for a chance, just to see that. So.
Yeah, that's how things worked back then.
Can't believe I just admitted that on a podcast. But hey, I wasn't.
Whatever.
But here's the thing: I thought I was the only one, and then I like moved away and found out that literally every other person did that.
Yep. Literally everyone.
Yeah. Oh wow,
man! Mirror. This was such a fun watch, though. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of this one.
Yeah, I
mostly because of the jokes, but
the movie was hell. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that
movies like it's screw high school.
Yeah, high school was terrible.
Oh yeah.
Nobody was cool. Like, if you look back at it, like, nobody was actually cool.
Okay, look, if you go around to Walmart and you see a bunch of dumbass high school kids walking around thinking they're cool, hanging out, throwing footballs, and, like, riding the bikes and stuff like that, and you think and you remember doing stuff like that when you were in high school, and you think, gosh, did we look like total freaking idiots like that? The answer is yes. 100%. You did.
100%.
You were. Yeah. Like I know you saw yourselves differently when you were in high school. So did I. So did Jeremy. But we were all those stupid little annoying kids. Okay. Yes, you were that. And I don't like to be reminded about that.
Oh man.
That's kind of like when they started like. I can't think of another way to say it. When they started like boob shaming Charlene, I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, you immediately knew what kind of movie you were in for when that happened. There's a certain type when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
This was definitely that type. Oh man. But yeah, it's really good, guys. Check it out. I highly recommend this one. Highly recommend this one. Like this This is at least so far probably my top 5 for the year, at least so far. We still got a few months left.
Yeah, we still got, but and we're still kind of like about ready to make that turn where RiffTrax just like kicks into a higher gear.
Yeah, they like
So
pull out
watch
the
out for
crazy.
that.
Yeah, and we already had Baby Ghost this year, so
Yeah. But speaking of that, we still got. I mean, like, you know, I don't think we're talking out of class because they're putting it up on the Patreon. We got Money Plane.
yeah, that's coming out. That's coming out soon. That'll be fun.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm very excited about Money Plane.
Yeah, and why are you excited about it? For the same reason that I am. Because of one of the stars of the movie.
Because we get the Edge and Kelsey Grammer in a scene together. Yeah.
Yeah. That should be interesting, to say the least.
Like I never thought in like 20 years ago. It's like, hey, Dave, in 20 years there's going to be a movie where Edge gets to share a scene with Kelsey Grammer. Shut up. But here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, everything is fair game now. Man. Next week.
We got anything else to talk about?
No. I think that's it for us for this week. Next week,
nice.
We are going to have a special episode, which I know we mentioned this last week, but I just want to remind everybody. I don't know if we're still going to actually be talking about any particular RiffTrax next week. I'm sure something will come up.
It'll be True Blue Haunted Weencast.
True Blue Haunted Weencast. We are going to be discussing the movie Haunted Ween, which we've mentioned many, many times on this podcast. We're finally going to be talking about it because in depth, yes. Because it's around the time of the 30th anniversary of this movie. It came out 30 years ago this year. Around this time of year it came out. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit, but we've got a special guest joining us. He's the host of Awfully Good Movies for JoeBlow.com. Jesse Shade will be here with us. And we're going to be talking about this movie that we've mentioned and teased time and time again to you guys. And we finally have a reason to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it.
Does this mean that at some point we're gonna have a special episode where we talk about Dinosaur Island?
Oh no.
Okay, good.
No.
Unless 34.
Oh God! Stop, Dave. Stop. Just stop. We don't need to start that again, because that was the worst. One of the worst moments I've ever had to live through in a movie, and that's right up there with that scene from Shrunken Heads. That's
yeah.
As far
right
as
there
being
with that
uncomfortable.
scene with the rapid fire humping from Rats.
Yes. Ugh.
And on that note,
we're going to wrap things up for this week's episode of the True Blue RiffCast. I'm Jeremy. You can find me on Twitter at PBandAwesome. You can also follow the RiffCast on Twitter at TBRiffCast. Make sure you're doing that because you'll get updates on what we're going to be talking about every Sunday. And, yeah, we'll get you a heads up. We'll remind you that we're going live and all that good stuff. So make sure you give us a follow over there.
And I'm Dave Chadwick. You can check me out at davechadwick.info. I am the author of Monkey. You can get that on Amazon.com. It's $3.99 now. And you can check me out on Twitter at DChadwickAuthor.
All right, we'll see you guys live next week for the True Blue RiffCast.
Rock till you die.